Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me again for another video. I'm going to change my name, I think. I'm going to go from Lee the Dorset Spur to Lee the Mystic Spur because I think I got it quite right over this weekend. I was lucky enough to be invited to speak with Mr. Chris Callin on Friday night, where we did a preview of this Tamworth game. And in that preview, I not only called out the result of being 3-0, I also said that Tamworth were going to make it really, really difficult for us. They were going to be physical. They were going to be fast. They were going to throw into challenges and really put us under a lot of pressure and try to quieten us down to make sure that they disrupted our game and stopped us playing our football. And of course, that's exactly what happened. They nullified us absolutely, totally. Were on us straight from the get-go with their first attempt on goal after 20 seconds, with Kinski doing a very good save, pushing the ball over the bar. And that was kind of the theme of the game, really. Really boring watch, really difficult watch, really frustrating watch. But that's exactly what Tamworth wanted out of this. I think looking at the team we put out, actually quite surprised that we still went with Archie Gray, giving him even more minutes. I'm just concerned about the amount of football he's playing, especially playing in his not his preferred position. Doing really, really well. I mean, he's a great lad and a really strong player. But you kind of think to yourself, it just seems weird for him to get so many minutes. And I understand from a managerial point of view, I'm guessing that Ange has got in his mind the players that can play in set positions and where he kind of wants them, and how he can utilise them, who's backing up what player and so on and so forth. And I think Radu and Gray are basically the backup at centre back. And that's what that's become. And Spence has become the backup at left back and right back, to kind of take that pressure away from Gray. It kind of suggests as well that maybe Van der Ven and Romero are likely back, at some point very soon. And at that point, he may well be able to give Gray a rest. In terms of the rest of the team, I thought it was a very strong team that he put out. I mean, you got Madison in there, you got Sarr in there. You kind of, Horo. You're looking at this team, you're thinking this is quite a strong team, and not what everybody was expecting him to put out. Reguilon coming in, I thought was an obvious thing to do. Maybe to give Spence that little bit of a break. Which again sounds weird when you're kind of talking about Gray having so much football and Spence not having so much, that he would kind of need to break. But then I guess different positions, different workloads, it kind of makes sense. Big game coming up on Wednesday. Maybe he wants Spence to be fresh for that as much as possible. Good to see Mikey Moore back as well. Did really well. Played probably one of our bright players out of the whole team, him and Madison, with the rest of them being absolutely poor, to be honest, a real poor performance across the board. Shocked, I'm going to be honest, shocked at Werner being there as the main striker. Really don't understand that when you've got Will Lancashire, who is an out-and-out striker, available. Especially when you've got such a strong other players around him. I really, really struggle with Timo. I feel like I'm picking on him. I'm getting to that point where I feel like I'm picking on him and I'm calling him out all the time. And I hate doing that because it kind of feels like you've got an agenda against him. And the reality is I haven't. I really want him to do well. I really, really want him to do well. I always back the underdog. I'd always want to see someone who's not doing very well really do well, really come out on top. I'd love that, but I just can't see it happening. It just feels so far away. Like there's just no opportunity for that to happen. And he was still poor again today. And we are playing Tamworth. So I mean, if he can't do it against Tamworth, when can he do it? Where can he do it? I mean, this is a player that's played in the Champions League. He plays, for Germany. I mean, there's just something going wrong here. Now, whether it's, a mental problem, a positional problem, an expectation problem, I honestly don't know. All I know is I am yet to see him do a man of the match performance. I'm yet to really see him really take somebody on and put in a great ball. I've seen him take someone on. I've seen him put in a great ball, but I've not seen him do both. And I certainly haven't seen him do both on a consistent basis. So really, really bothered about that, and I can't understand it. But maybe it's a contractual thing that Ange has to play them a certain amount of times or something. Maybe it's a financial thing, the fact that they're paying him a lot of money and they want to get their value from it. I don't think you're getting your value, even if he is on the pitch. So really a bit disappointed to see Timo there. Again, Johnson, again, another one I really, really rooted for, really, really wanted to do well. Scoring goals, he is scoring goals and he has, but outside of those goals, and I'm not saying the goals that he scores are not important because they are, but the rest of his contribution isn't good enough. It really feels like he's not doing enough. And I know he can do more. I've seen him do more. I have seen him take players on. I have seen him cross the ball, which is something that I criticised Timo for. But it's just not happening. It's just not happening for him. He just, again, he seems to be going backwards a lot of the time, not taking responsibility and really kind of driving forward and taking people on and putting telling balls into the box for those strikers or for the other front players. So again, disappointing for him. But listen, at the end of it all, the key thing here is: did we win? Yes. Do we progress? Yes. Nobody's going to be thinking about how poor this performance is if we were to go further in this competition and actually even win it. No one's going to be worrying about how poor we were against Tamworth. They're going to go, well, you got the win 3-0 against Tamworth, and we move on to the next round. It took a long time. We had to bring on some big guns. Sonny had to play, Kulo had to play, Solanke had to play, Decky had to play. You're bringing in these big names, but they didn't play too much of that football, so they still would have got a fair bit of rest in that. And I think it's the right thing to do as well for the Tamworth supporters and for the club to have had those players play on their ground, to have them in their stadium, and to do what they did around the club. So I think it was the right thing to do, to at least be there, and coming on right at the end like that. Well, it was the right thing to do. So listen, it goes to extra time, but we get the result, and that's the main thing. So we can moan about it as much as we like. It's a poor performance and so on. I don't think Ange's got too much to be criticised for. I don't think the team selection was poor. I think it was a strong side, but obviously Tamworth did the job that they needed to do. They worked hard. They utilised what they had to nullify us, to stop us, and all the rest of it. And difficult day all round. So fair play to Tamworth. Good luck to them. Shame for them that they have to go out. And if they'd been playing someone else, I'd have absolutely wanted them to go through, because you love to see these little teams, really, playing the big boys and getting good results and pushing up their finances and so on. I love the idea of that. Like I say, I do love an underdog and always want to see them do well. So of course, we've had the draw, and up next is Aston Villa away. Another really, really tough tie. If we're ever going to win anything, it's going to be by beating some really top teams. The Carabao Cup, of course, has been difficult with, after Coventry, Man City and Man United, Liverpool, and then potentially either Arsenal or Newcastle in the final if we get that far. So we've not had an easy run on that. This isn't an easy fixture either. Potential banana skin on an artificial pitch with really poor facilities, all that kind of stuff. You can see teams crumble in those situations. So listen, I'm just happy we got through. We're into the next round. That's the main thing. Villa will be tough, but we've got a good record against Villa. We've played well against them. We've given them a couple of decent spankings. So let's hope that maybe we get the opportunity to play well, get some players back, get some players in. Like I keep saying, and hopefully that gives us the opportunity to progress in this competition. Up next is the Scum down the road. Another really big game, going to be a difficult one, but it is a derby for me. Again, it's the best derby in the Premier League. I don't think many others come very close to it. I think most of them are kind of made up. I look at Everton, Liverpool, and I think they all sit next to each other. It's not really a derby. Man City, Man United. Well, Man United rather see Man City win the league than Liverpool. So you kind of call out. There's not a lot of other teams that have their real rival there that they have to kind of really play against. Wolves, Villa. It really should be sort of Birmingham Villa is a real derby. I'm not saying there's not good derbies out there, because there is good derbies out there, right? But what I'm saying is, I think this is the one. This is the one that people want to see. So fingers crossed we can get a decent result there. We haven't got a great record, but like I say, form goes out the window, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes from here. I just hope that our team do us proud, work hard, put the effort in, and really show a level of work rate that this match deserves. But anyway, listen, I'll be back on Tuesday with my colleagues doing Shooting the Shit live show. So if you fancy coming and watching me talk to the Essex boys about Tamworth and about Liverpool and looking ahead against Arsenal, please do come along. If you want to send some questions in, happy to take your questions or your comments and so on. But as always, I do appreciate all the support that you guys give when watching these videos and so on and so forth. So thanks for that, and hope to see you on Tuesday. If not, I'll see you on the one after that. Keep the faith, keep supporting the team, and up the Spurs.